I remember starting off. I've owned several businesses. I've owned this one for like Martin. There's some you've built and sold, and starting out, early and even till not that long ago. I thought a vision was it had to be the big, ambitious, robust um, description that really encompassed us being all things to all people in the space I did business with. So people would think of us as, oh yeah, we could use those guys for that. And it just was, and yet I could never remember it. And I certainly couldn't get my employees to retain it in a way that they could repeat it. And so I'll be honest, it was listening to the Martin's version, not of the nine essentials, not Covey's or Sandler's or Wilson Learning's. So I broke it down to this. I'm building a company. I have a company, and we're building a better company, building back a company, and we want to be the most valuable outsourced partner to exhibit houses and ad agencies that work in the trade show and the business event space. I know who we are, and I know who we're not, and it's liberating to know that and say that. And by the way, I can say that sentence to, I don't know that every employee on my pull and prep floor or, on the I&D labor team is going to get it after hearing it once, but we do monthly all staff meetings and they hear me say these things. This is who we are. This is what we're building. So, and then again, I may be explaining what Martin would explain. Then the mission is how we accomplish that vision. And again, I wanted to have it be simple enough that it's true and that we really, and achievable, and that we're after it. So, we want to be the most valuable outsourced partner to exhibit houses and agencies in the trade show and event space. How do we do it? We do it by making the lives of the salespeople and the project managers and the operations personnel that we work with, we make their lives easier. How do we do that?
That's it.
We do it by constant, relentless improvements and innovation to our own processes and systems. In a few words, we keep getting better at how we do business with each other and ultimately how we do business with them. That we think is going to make their lives easier. So you were the nickel dropped for me, Martin, when you clarified the difference between a vision and a mission statement, because I think a lot of people confuse those two things.
I have to say, I'm not the only one who thinks that, described that way. But if you get on the internet, there'll be a million people calling what I call a vision statement a mission statement. There'll be people that don't have a vision statement. They just have, anyway. Okay. I'm not Congress. I don't have the authority to declare, but the vision is what your company looks like when you've achieved what you're after. Okay. It's the picture. You're the go-to guys. The mission is what you just said is how do we do that? And I'm going to wrap up or just a little bit summarize. We accept the burden, right?
Yeah.
What does your guy want? They want to know they can slide it over the table. 100% confident that issue is off. That booth's going to be there and it's going to be just what I want. Wow. I'm not leaving you for $100 difference in the bids, right?
Yeah. Well, and Martin, so can I ask you, Martin, is it wrong if somebody's vision of a business owner's vision is, my vision is to build a company with sustainable revenue that can fund my lifestyle and my retirement. Is that a vision?
Absolutely.
So it doesn't have to be
this is one of the hardest things, and it's unfortunate that it's first because getting people to give. I ask people when they come in routinely, new prospective clients. I ask them, "What do you want?" I mean, KHALIL's heard me say this a million times. What do you want? And they say, "Well, what do you mean?" And I said, "I mean, what do you want?" They say, well, "You mean me or my company?" I said, your company? I don't. What do you want? Wow, good question. Right?
Yeah.
So I say the vision thing, people try to, as you described, be lofty and poetic, right?
Right.
We're going to save the world and do all these things. Well, number one, that's not really what they're after. And number two, they wind up with a bunch of platitudes that absolutely nobody can remember. And if people can't remembering a vision statement is the first step to its being useful, because it's your why. It's what we do. It's where we're going.
Yeah.
Right. And so it gets a little bit complicated, but you can kind of describe what I do, subset of visions, an external and an internal, and they both have to be true. But you don't want to tell actually, it probably would work. Say, hey, I'm trying to be the most profitable display guy in the world because I want to buy a Gulfstream jet. And I'm sure a lot of your clients would go, okay. And the way I have to do that is make you the happiest SOB in the world who pays me premium prices. Okay, I'd go for that. But a lot of people would, right?
Yeah. I'll tell you what, 10 years ago, if you asked me, what's your company vision? I would have said, well, I'm going to need a thesaurus and Jack Welch's book on life at GE in order to answer that question. Right. Because you're right. Lofty, poetic, platitude.
Let's give an example. Let's give an example. I think, Martin, I think you remember, maybe I'm putting you on the spot here, but you remember Disney's old vision statement.
Yeah.
Would you remember what it was?
Yeah. It was a smile on every face.
Yeah. Yeah. And you're never going to achieve that. There's going to be someone frowning at some point. And so they're always going to be trying to achieve that vision, right?
Right. But as a new guy working for Disney, I understand my job.
Yeah.
Literally, it is safety first. But the second thing is to make people smile.
Yep.
Am I doing that now or am I not? It gives clarity.
And so let's read off their website. Our vision, the vision of the Walt Disney Company, is to entertain, inform, and inspire people around the globe through the power of unparalleled storytelling, reflecting the iconic brands, creative minds, and innovative technologies that make ours the world's premier entertainment company.
That would give an aspirin a headache.
Yeah.
Right.
It means nothing.
Yeah. It's worthless.
It's really meaningful if you have the time to sit down and read it and really digest it.
Now, you got two people in what's innovative versus profitable, right?
Mm-hmm.
Who has priority there, right? And so I'm not refuting, I guess you could get meaning from it,
yes,
but nobody's going to do that. So when I talk to people about, say, what do you really, really want? And a lot of smart people say, I want a business where I have trusted people who operate trusted systems, who are happy, who want to be here. I want customers who are raving fans. You don't want to, but that's what I really want. I say, okay, our vision is a system-run company where the employees love being here. Our suppliers and our customers are raving fans, and the owner spends the majority of his or her time working on the business that's head of in. Okay, there's a vision.
Yeah.
It's not a lofty feed the world kind of deal, but if that's what you really want.
Right.
I think that's the point.
Now,
the point I'd make to listeners, and my takeaway when it clicked for me, Martin, was it should be specific, and it's specific for you. There's not a wrong answer, but it shouldn't be so vague that you've lost, the identity of what you're building and pursuing. And it's okay if it's to fund your lifestyle and your retirement. So by the way, when I want to be the most valuable, outsource partner, the exhibit houses that work in our industry all have partners they outsource. Some are graphic specific, and some are AV, and some are transportation and freight, and others are labor. And we're sort of a hybrid of a bundle of those things. We think the depth of our offering, and I hope the quality of my people and the intelligent way we do business makes people go, I just love those guys, bar none. Couldn't live without them. And by the way, I happen to believe, you could drill down deeper, I happen to believe that will fund a nice lifestyle for me if I'm able to do that.
Yeah.
I'm not choosing to make that the thing out front. But one of my best takeaways was listening to you define the difference between this step and the next step, which was the mission. And the mission is how you're going to accomplish that. And that was another great aha moment for me.